Hey, it's Lauren Abrams with 52 Weeks of Hope, and I'm so excited to have Valerie Inez here. Valerie, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. I am a psychic and intuitive development coach and a shadow work guide. I'm so happy to be here.
Sorry, I'm trying to go live on Insta, and I'm not positive how to do it. So let's see if this is working.
Oh, my hair is crazy
I
today.
you look fabulous. Let's see, is it going live? Well, and I want to welcome everybody who's watching live and everybody who's, let's see, live. I have no idea if we're on Insta or not, and everybody who's watching the recording. I'm not, let's see. Yeah, having trouble streaming to it. So whatever. Anyway, I'm so excited to talk today about mastering authentic connection, how to overcome self-doubt and build magnetic confidence. And Valerie, I had so much fun talking to you. It's this week's episode about getting rid of all that yuck and all those blocks so that we can be our authentic self and have those kind of connections. And that's actually what happens when you have these kind of conversations, because we end up talking, and I feel like we get that kind of connection just from even on when you're online and talking one-on-one like this. So for somebody who's listening, and the first step that they could take just to get rid of those blocks or the self-doubt, or, you put up those walls, and there's no time for that anymore, really. It's like, you really want to have real relationships with other people. What's the first step they can take so that you can have those real, raw,
I think we lost our connection. Did I go?
I know. Yeah,
There
we're
we go.
back now.
Okay. So the first step is to be aware of your responses, your beliefs, the way that you're showing up in the world, what you think about yourself. I think awareness is the number one key. And when you're aware of those kinds of beliefs, I really, really would encourage people to start journaling. I feel like journaling is such an underrated component to healing and self-awareness, because we keep so much stuff in our head. And when it's just here, it kind of like creates this little home in your head where it's just embedded in your subconscious mind. When you start allowing yourself to free write, like morning pages, I'm sure y'all have heard about that. Or if you just really get down into, okay, I'm feeling like absolute trash today, let's dive into that and just start allowing yourself to free write on the page. You will be surprised at how much information your mind will give you if you just gave yourself the space to do so. So
Yeah,
journaling,
and
hands down.
absolutely. And you can just write, why do I feel like this? And then just start writing. And I have links to Valerie's books too. She's got some shadow work books and journaling prompts that are amazing to help you. And they're easy. I mean, it might not
Oh yeah.
be easy what you're uncovering, but like, these are really easy books to like work with and work through. So somebody that, say you have something to go to and you don't really know that many people, and you're like, I shouldn't go, but life's about showing up. Like, you never know what can happen just from showing up for life. What would you tell somebody that's all that self-doubt and stuff that comes up?
The reason that you have self-doubt is because you are uncomfortable in the unknown. It doesn't mean that you're not capable of doing that or being that person or showing up. It just means that it's unknown. So your body, your subconscious mind is like, I don't know if that's safe. I don't even know if we're going to be alive after that. So why would we go? Your body, your mind is only trying to keep you alive. That's just its base programming. So when you can understand, my body and my subconscious mind care about me so much, its only job is to keep me alive. Is it really this perceived threat that I think it is? Or am I just allowing my nerves to get the best of me? Right? Like, when you kind of understand the way that your body works and your mind works, which I don't think many of us really know. Like, I was just talking to my kid the other day, and she just found out what her tear ducts were. She thought those were just like random holes in her eyes. And I'm like, if we really understood on a logical level the way that our body functions, it would become so much easier to overcome those beliefs that are there just to keep you safe in your comfort zone.
Yeah, and it's walking through those fears. When you
Mm-hmm.
walk through, go, oh, I'm afraid, and so acknowledging it is huge.
Oh,
That's the
yes.
first step. Once you acknowledge and realize, and you're aware, that awareness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid to go to this. That is such a big
Yeah.
thing. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why this is so glitchy, and hopefully people can hear it, even the replay and everything else. But that is just such a big part of it. And then you're like, oh, it's fear. I know this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then you're like, all right, I know how to walk through fear. And people, a lot of people are like, I don't like act as if. You could act like you're a badass. You could act like you don't have fear.
Yes.
Like, so what? Because it's not real.
Uh-huh.
It just, that's your head, it's your ego, it's all those stuff trying to keep you small. So
Mm-hmm.
you're like nodding along. So go ahead, I'll
Yeah,
let you
because
talk.
confidence is really a choice. You can show up and choose confidence, or you can allow yourself to spiral in those beliefs that are telling you otherwise. No one's going to know the difference. If you showed up as your most confident self, no one is going to know inside you're like, spiraling in this mental frenzy. You just show up and you be that person. And I think so many of us feel like we have to maybe like feel confident, or you have to like heal yourself, or just like be this completely different version. But if you just showed up every day at 1% better, then you're getting that much closer to who you actually want to be.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
true. And you know what? Before we go in trial, there were a bunch of us. It was an all-female team, and we
Mm-hmm.
put our hands on our waist in a superwoman pose or super person pose, and just to be like, just there's a lot to standing straight, being as tall as you can,
Yes.
and doing things like that that
Mm-hmm.
get you into a confidence mode,
Mm-hmm.
and just physical things that can help your endorphins get kind of going and make you feel confident. And
Mm-hmm.
putting your hands on your waist, that it's there's a reason that those characters have that kind of a stance.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
then we'd go into trial.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's amazing. And I always tell my clients, like, when you're walking into a room or you're walking in the store, don't be looking down at your phone. Like, don't be slouching your
Yeah.
shoulders. Put your phone away. Pay attention. Make eye contact with people. Like, be assertive, people. Put your chest out. Put your shoulders back. Head up. Like, you are that queen goddess that you want to be if you simply just stepped into that energy. Just step into that role. And, like, who would you be as your most empowered, confident self, and just be that person. Stop letting your mind trick you into thinking otherwise. Okay.
Yeah, I love that. No, I absolutely love that. The putting away the phone and looking, it's
Mm-hmm.
that's how things happen. I've been talking a lot lately. I had a 7-hour delay on a flight last week.
Oh, wow.
7 hour. I know, I've never had anything like that. And I was like, okay, we connect through our stories. Look around, like don't just get caught up and start working and in my computer and in my devices and everything else, or in a book. Like, oh, whoa. There you go. And see, like, and so I got to meet people, and I got to hear their stories, and I can picture them perfectly and what was going on with them, and and again, it was like, don't be caught up in my devices, and meet people, and
Mm-hmm.
even though I want to just hole up and isolate, and it's where I go, and I know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just that's so good, and it's how
Mm-hmm.
you become part of the magic and the thread and the wove of life. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Exactly.
So what are some other tools that people can use?
I'm always going to say meditation, but I don't want you to be scared when I say meditation, because meditation doesn't have to be, 30, 45 minutes. It can simply be 5 minutes. Just this morning, I was in meditation, and I was presented with a belief that I didn't even know existed. And it made so much sense when my mind was like, girl, we're feeling this way because of this limiting belief, which I'm not going to share because I'm still trying to process it. But it was just a very eye-opening moment for me. And I think meditation is such a beautiful way to not only get in tune with your beliefs, your
Which was
self-limiting
good.
beliefs, but also help calm your energy, regulate your nervous system, learn how to be more focused and concentrate, and just it really helps ground your energy and just ground yourself back in your body, because we spend a lot of time up here in our head, and just getting in your body just helps you focus and just be present in the moment. So meditation, I will always vouch for meditation.
Yeah, same here. And I mean, it helps me stay balanced
Mm-hmm.
and in the present moment,
Mm-hmm.
because that's all we have anyways right now.
Exactly.
And it helps me be okay with whatever's going on. It doesn't make whatever's going on okay, but it helps me be okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that definitely does that. So we talked so much in your episode on 52 Weeks of Hope about how much I love talking about your spiritual awakening. Do you want to share some of that?
Yes. So quick recap.
Yeah.
If you hear dogs in the background, my dogs are playing, so they're puppies. But in late 2019, I wrote a letter to God. I was like, God, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. Something has to change, or I'm going to check out. And then just maybe a couple of months later, not even, I ended up having my spiritual awakening. I ended up having a crown chakra opening where when I was meditating, I was getting a lot of downloads from, God, source, the universe coming in. And it was very distinct from my normal self-deprecating thoughts that I was like, I have no idea what's happening. I ended up going to go get a Reiki treatment, and she confirmed and validated so many of my experiences without even knowing who I was. And I ended up getting certified in Reiki, and I just remember going to the library and going to the used bookstore and getting everything that I could to research about energy and healing and spiritual awakenings and consciousness. Everything I could get my hands on, I was researching and pouring into and diving into. And that led me to kind of come into terms that my marriage was not getting any better, and it was never going to get any better. So I ended up leaving my marriage and starting all over. Took me and my kids, moved out, sold my house, and said, I'm not doing this anymore. And basically just started my life all over, and kind of just fell into developing my intuitive gifts and learning about, psychic abilities. And it just, I feel like one step just led to the next step, just led to the next step, and it just kept going. And here I am. It's been almost 4 years. And if I could just go back to that girl that was waking up, I would tell her, it's all going to make sense eventually. Just, if anybody's going through a spiritual awakening, it will all make sense, but you kind of have to go through the gunk of it, the darkness of your own being, your own consciousness, your own beliefs, in order to find your own lights, because we're all made of both. And I think it's so difficult to navigate that. And when you're kind of on the other side, it makes so much more sense. But when you're in it, it's just it's like you're drowning,
Yeah.
It just is.
And it's always, we get our most growth through our hardest times. And but when you're in it, it sucks. The
Mhm.
only way through is through, but it's like,
Yeah.
And it's all in hindsight, right? I mean,
Exactly.
It's just, and Valerie's episode is episode 184, which is out. It's out now, and it's so good. And of course, all of the links for everything, that all the tips and tools and all of her nuggets, and how to work through all of your limiting beliefs and your do the shadow work and everything. She talks about it with a lot more detail and everything in the episode. Do you want to tell people how they can get in touch with you, which of course it's in the show notes and on the website at 52 Weeks of Hope?
You can find me on TikTok at Valerie_Inez, and on Instagram at Valerie Inez 111. And my website is valerieinez.com. And side note, I will never DM you and reach out to give you a reading. I don't do readings. I show you how to master your own intuition. So if that comes from someone, it's not me, okay?
Yeah, she gets the downloads. This is great. Thank you so much for going live. And she's going to do some of her work live also in our Facebook community. So be sure to join us in there. So that'll be great. Yay, this was great. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah.